Howdy folks, Little John in the brewery. There's a little bit going on, but main thing doing here, doing a tasting on the Brewmakers Lager I did a while back, which was comparing fermenting in the all-round under pressure against just a standard ferment. So we'll have a look at that in a minute. Before that, I've got a few things to do. First one, big shout out to all the patrons. First video of the month. I know it's been, I discussed this last week, it's been Easter, so no video until now for the month, so that means Patreon draw. So got all the patrons in here. Now I did check this morning, and there are a couple of patrons who, for whatever reasons, accounts are not being paid, so their names are still in here, but if they come out they will not win the prize. So if you are a patron and you're watching, if you haven't got money in your account at the start of the month, then you're not gonna. It doesn't get hit, and you're not gonna fall into the benefits. But anyway, this month's draw, I haven't really sat down and really thought about what the prizes are going to be just at the moment. But given that the t-shirts and hats are in, I think t-shirt might be going the way of the lucky winner today. So I'll draw this out. Alright, and there you go. Now there's someone's going to be bloody fairly happy about that. Don't know if the shirt's going to fit him though. Jason James, Mollows, you're the man. I'll be in touch with you over the next couple of days, and we'll work out what's going on. If we can't get a shirt there, we'll get you a hat at the very least, and see how we go from there. So anyway, if you're interested in Patreon, hit the link down the bottom. We do these as a draw every month. There's bonuses that go along. No, along with that, there is a recipe of the month coming soon, guys. Won't be far away. If you aren't subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you're watching. But let's get on with this now. Let me make sure I know which one's what. Must be a lot of gas in that. Didn't seem to be, but. So yeah, this brew, I will put a link up to brew day. Brewmakers Lager. Now these was some kits I got cheap from Kegland, and I'm clearing them out. They're a Brewmakers is a pommy kit. So I don't know exactly what kind of lager it is, because they do a European lager. So I'm assuming this is more a pommy lager. We will see how we go. That one's got definitely a bit more gas. Now what I did, I've fermented one in the all-rounder under pressure, one in just a standard fermenter, or normal ferment, W3470 slurry, 150 ml of each. And they were set to 11.8 degrees. 12 degrees essentially was ferment temp, and rolled through a process. She fermented for 4 days, and I raised up a degree a day up to 16 degrees, and let it sit there for a couple of days to finish off. There's no mention. But no mention here of a cold crash, but I would assume that I cold crashed for 2 days looking at the numbers here. So the standard lager, 600 grams of dextrose, 400 grams of light dry malt in the batch, so 1 kilo of fermentable, so not pushing it heavily, and then let's split that into the batch. So beer on my left, your right, is the beer from the All Rounder. Now that was bottled straight off the All Rounder. I think there's a little bit light on gas there. This fella on your left, my right, is the normal ferment, and it's been bottled up with a carb drop. And as I always seem to find the carb drops, they're just a little bit too over carb, just the one drop in a bottle, but that's the way it is. Now this was bottled on the 25th of February, so it is now the 7th today when I'm doing this. I think it'll be the 9th by the time the video hits the channel, but this is essentially fairly close to 6 weeks old. 6 weeks in the bottle. So I've had a decent amount of time to age. So I'll get into this fella first while I'm waiting for this to calm down a little bit. Okay, so initial taste isn't too bad. It's not no significant flavours, but it's not too bad. She's nice and clear. It's a fairly deepish amber, bordering on I even say bordering onto a little bit of a light brown. It's fairly deep in colour. And I'd almost bloody say that the pressure ferment it's a fraction darker in colour, which is an interesting thing, because you could say, oh, maybe it's oxidised, hence the darker colour, but I don't know. I would be more inclined to say possibly the extra sugar has just done a tiny little bit more fermentation and stripped a little bit more colour out during the during that secondary, during the bottle conditioning. Now, as I said, these kits were all but out of date. I think they're probably out of date now. I think they only have like 2 weeks left on them at the time I bottled. It is on the video, but they're very close. So there is a bit of a sweet toffee nose on that, and it almost smells. Oh, it's like initially, I'm thinking I'm picking up a little bit of that wet cardboard, but it may be all in my head with talking the oxidation. There's some fruity tones on the nose, just bite. The flavour's fairly clean. There's just, again, a little bit of toffee there. It's going to be interesting to see this, to see how that actually compares. I'm just giving it a second to settle down. Now, while it's doing that, got to give a big shout out to just one of the viewers, Ray. I'm not going to use, I know his last name, I'm not going to use his last name. He knows who he is. So there's always a shout out for the Patrons and for helping out the channel and making, a small payment out of their pocket each month to keep the channel going. But Ray, when I put the video up about going and doing the kit extractaganza, said I'll send you some stuff to help you out. Righto then, no worries. I thought he might send a kit. And we've had a few communications since then, and passport, I think this turned up at the post office on Thursday, but I was going away for Easter, I didn't get a chance to get it. Been down today and got it, and I mean, this is I mean, there's a few supporters of the channel who go above and beyond, and this one's really shocked me. He sent me 2 kits. Now this fella, an ESB Specialty Craft Beer Kit. These are a 3 kilo kit, and I know that these aren't cheap. When I've checked these when I was going through the thing. So yeah, that's beyond just the normal kit. He's also sent me this fella. So Morgan's Ironbark Dark Ale and a ESB Belgian Golden Ale. So Ray, mate, thank you very much. I'm blown away by you doing that. These are going to get it. These will get onto the list for the extravaganza. I've got one more here to do, which I think is the Black Rock Dry Lager, top of my head. But these will be the following 2 brews. These will be brew number 3 and brew number 4 in the extravaganza. So I can't say enough, man. That's just fantastic, mate. Yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much. There will be some return and reward for you down the track. Don't you worry about that. Anyway, this fella's settled a bit now. Let's get into there. Okay. There's a little bit of fruit there on the nose on this as well. And the toffee's there, but it's... Okay, the fruity note is... and the toffee is lighter and just a little, seems a little bit brighter on this, which is, I said, it's the standard ferment. Bottle carved. It's settled nicely now. It's got a yeah, good colour. Like I said, so I definitely at least a shade and a half lighter. Yeah, running a decent head. With much more gas. Not that this is under gas. That's got a decent gas level, but like I said, this is still something I'm playing around with, the gas levels with the pressure ferment, getting that right, working at the right level, and it is why on a lot of the early brews I was going from the all-rounder, from the pressure into a keg, on the keg for 2 weeks with the gas, and then bottling it from there, just trying to make sure that gas level was fine. But I'm happy enough with that. Hope the brother is. I've sent him home with a carton of this just this afternoon. He's been waiting to get onto this one, so. Okay. Fairly identical in flavour, really. Look, yeah, look, the only thing I can really say is that this is a little bit brighter. And I'm going to put that down initially to the carbonation. Now, I said I was trying to do some comparison between the pressure ferment and the non-pressure. And it's hard to pick any. It's hard to pick any real difference. Now, I will say for the kit, surprisingly, the kit is reasonably clean. There's no great, standout kit sort of twang or that sort of note. Though I think some of that fruity flavour, I think, is coming from the kit. I don't think it's all a hop, and there's no hops added to the brew, and it's not really coming across necessarily as a hop flavour. So I think there is some kit influence, but I think that the twang on this seems to be coming across more as a like little fruit note. Which isn't particularly unpleasant. It's not enticing, but it's not, it's not dragging away from the beer. It's working with it a little bit. And again, I think it's one of those things where if you're just a standard kit brewer, you're not going to pick that as a kit problem. I think as having brewed a lot of all grain, more than kits, that does become a little bit more pronounced, but it's not massive. So from the perspective of the kit itself, it's not too bad. It's fairly light and easy going. Now, alcohol wise, this one is 3.6%, and you might as well say, we're going to say 4.1 with the carb drop in this fella. And again, like I said, I think that's the real difference, I think, between these two. This is that secondary in the bottle has dragged a little bit extra body from the malt. It's also slight, and it doesn't. It's not gonna. It can't actually get in. It's not fermenting into more of the malt, but I think the alcohol content that change has impacted how that flavour works. Now, that in itself is an interesting aside with a whole different argument about priming sugars adding, changing the flavour of your beer, because really that's the only thing different between the fermented, the pressure ferment is different. But I don't think that's where the difference is coming from. If I had to say on these two beers as they are, I certainly prefer the standard ferment. I said it's brighter. It feels lighter. It's only a tiny bit more gas in it right there at the moment. And it's really weird because if I was given these, if someone just gave these to me and said, okay, here's two beers, the same beer, one's been done under pressure, one's been done standard and bottle conditioned, I'd probably guesstimate the other way around on the beers. Well, that's it. Right at this point, my overall experience with pressure fermenting is fairly limited, this was brewed at 12.5 psi. Plenty of people are saying that lagers can push, pushing 15, 20, even 30 psi to really reduce the amount of esters from the yeast. Now, as I say, there's this fruity note in both of these, which could well be the yeast. And as I say, it is more noticeable on the nose in this one. So it could well be that twangy flavour, or that slightly fruity note is coming from the yeast, and it is more restrained in this beer because it's been under pressure and it has been kept under control a little bit, and that, you know, perhaps if the pressure was twice as much, then it would have pulled back even further. And the brightness and the lightness may simply be not carbonated as much. Don't know. As it is right there, I can't say that particularly as that one is better than the other. They both drink all right. They're not spectacular, but they're not bad. For a basic kit beer, 60-40 dexter malt, they're drinking pretty good. So, inconclusive on the pressure versus non-pressure. And as I said, that's going to be a continuing thing I'm going to look at, continuing over time as we go forward. Pressure ferment versus non-pressure. I don't want to be doing too much direct experiments necessarily. Going to be more about just brewing beers under pressure and seeing what sort of effects they have and how the final beers come out. But here and there I will do this sort of thing. But yeah. But for anybody at home, if you're from the old dart, if you're a ex-pub living over here and you're missing a bit of home lager, maybe the Brewmakers is a good choice for you. Maybe just anybody sitting at home who doesn't mind a bit of a lager. That's a kit worth giving a whirl. It's simple and it's fairly good, and it responded to a fairly easy progressed, ferment. Might come out better, but if I'd run this an extra week in the fermenter and kept it at 12 degrees initially and left it there, what difference would that have made? Who knows? Could have come out even a bit clearer still. But that's it. As always, got any comments, got any questions, stick them down the bottom. Just a quick update. The shirts and the hats, I've not hit the website as yet with Easter, and I've been getting smashed at work a bit, so I haven't had much time to sit down and do that. It will happen. As I said, I'll let you. Everyone will know when it happens. It'll be on here. It'll be on the Facebook page. It'll be on the website. It'll all be there when they're actually ready to go. If you are interested in a shirt or a cap, hit me via the Facebook page or the website. The links are down the bottom. Hit me contact and we can get you sorted out. If you're not wanting to wait till they actually hit the website. End of the day, it's going to have to be done through me directly. I'm not setting up a e-commerce site. I'm not setting up a shop front within the website. It's just going to be contact and organised payment that way. So if you are interested, hit me up. Go for your life. We'll get these things going. She might look as good as Mrs. Littlejohn does in one of the t-shirts. Anyway, we can't carry on my bloody bound forever. So I'm out of here. Patrons, as always, cheers and thank you for your help. Mullows, it's a winner for the month. I'll be in touch. again, if you aren't subscribed, hit the subscribe button down there in the corner and ring the bell so you get notified and don't miss any videos. Yeah, as an example, brew day this weekend, cherry pie stout, a new variation for me on the cherry stout beer. So going to be a little bit different. I had planned on doing another cherry ripe, but no, I'm going to go cherry pie. A little bit different. So that will be happening, I think Saturday. I think will be my window of opportunity. So if you're subscribed and you get notifications, you don't miss out when the video comes up. Other than that, hit the like button. It all helps little John keep going, doing the things that I do. Brewing, drinking, talking, brewing some more. Anyway, that's me. I'm done. So, Brewmakers Lager. For me, I put in the lean on the side of the winner's barrel, and that wasn't a real good move. Pressure versus non-pressure, it's still out. So anyway, till I see you again, we're brewing beer, drinking beer or talking beer, good brewing.